Gentlemen and female gentlemen, I have a really hard time learning a lesson, but apparently the lesson must be taught again. Another Hasan situation happened, and today I felt like covering it because no one else seems to be covering it, and I think it's evil and abhorrent, so here we are. Hasan Piker, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it.
Everyone's favorite political streamer. He has come out to say a lot of incredible things over the years. Things including, you violent, bloodthirsty pig dog, and denying rape that happens. He's done a lot of crazy things. I've been under fire for some videos that we made about our favorite Marxist millionaire, our Maserati Marxist here, our boy, our goat, our homie, our communist with the Gucci bag. But today we're doing something else. So Trump won the election because, you know, it's a democracy. And I guess when everyone votes for the same guy, the guy wins. It's pretty weird, honestly. It's kind of crazy how that happened, you know, democracy and all. But suddenly, the people that have always been arguing that democracy is the most important, and that's why Trump shouldn't be able to even run, bro, because he's a threat to democracy. When democracy actually votes him in, suddenly things change. Interesting. It's almost like morals are flip-flopping back and forth. Now, here's the best part. In this video, we're going to be talking about Kamala Harris certifying Trump's victory, where Kamala Harris has to, in complete and utter shame, go up there and talk about how, what's-his-face, Trump actually won, how Orange Man absolutely slaughtered her in the elections. She has the unfortunate task of congratulating him and saying that he won. I don't know how. I feel like this is like some sort of humiliation ritual that they made Kamala actually do this shit. But anyway, we're gonna get into that in a second. It's very funny. The crazy thing is, Hasan basically spends an entire video calling for violence. Obviously, he doesn't use those words because he's a smart guy. He knows how to use his mouth. But he's basically the entire time furious that the Democrats didn't do like an actual violent riot on January 6th of 2025. He is fuming that they're actually electing the man that was voted for and that they didn't pull some sort of hoodwink situation. This is hilarious and crazy at the same time. So anyway, I thought that this would be a very fun video to do.
It's official. Congress is certified Donald Trump's election victory. As you guys know, this is
something that happens every time. Believe it or not, every single time a president wins, it gets certified on January 6th.
Necessarily something that people were aware of that the American government does until
everyone is aware that this is something that happened. Everyone was aware that it was actually certified when a president wins the election.
The Republicans decided this was a pivotal moment to strike, and
right. He thinks that the only reason why people know that January 6th is something that happens where a president gets certified is because of the evil insurrection that happened January 6th in 2020.
Potentially change
2021, whatever.
The trajectory of American democracy. What is this? Oh no, it's happening again. Just keep this video to bait some views.
To the Capitol, but those police are gone. I don't see anyone. When we were coming up on the other side, from the west side of the Capitol, we saw a group of...
Oh my God, they're doing it again. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
I was kidding. Like, the craziest thing is, so I think that the riot that happened January 6th, 2021, right? Back in the 2020 election, I think it was awful. I'm actually against all riots. I know that this is an incredibly hot take. But I am actually against all violent protests, all violent riots, all of that stuff I think is bad. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't matter what cause you're fighting for. It doesn't matter if you're in a January 6th pro-Trump protest. It doesn't matter if you're on a freaking the Black Lives Matter protest. I don't think any protest should be violent, period, to be honest. And the craziest thing is, Hasan, who basically has been flaming the Republicans for doing an insurrection for the last 4 years, that they were trying to overthrow the government January 6th, he's implicitly hoping that the Democrats do a violent protest now and steal the government. What?
Was the only protester outside Congress? Where was everyone? Let's be really real. Liberals are not resisting the Trump administration.
Yeah, it's almost like the guy won and got the popular vote. Like, the dude literally got voted in. Why is he mad about this? Liberals aren't fighting hard enough. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, bro? Like, what are you talking about?
They're not. Liberals are too busy, both in the halls of Congress and outside, clapping at the normalization of Donald Trump and the Republican Party.
He's just so sad that the anime villain won. The normalization of the Republican Party. You mean the party that won the election based on votes, right? Like, what do you mean? Everyone is clapping that Senator Palpatine took over the Senate. Bro literally got voted in. Like, isn't that what happened? I don't know, man.
And also simultaneously celebrating how good they are at normalizing people like Trump. My point is, we're done. It's over. The American Reich is here.
The Reich, baby. That's right. The American Reich. Because if you are right-wing in any way, shape, or form, you might as well be pruning your Hitler mustache right now.
Okay. Some might say it's always been here, America KKK style. Maoist standard English speakers rejoice. You were right all along. But that's kind of where we're at. Look.
It's insane. It's insane how like out of touch he is. Because the funniest thing is the Nazi dog whistles, like calling the Republicans Nazis, calling the right Nazis for the last 4 years, 100% contributed to Trump getting elected. 100%. And he's so lost in the sauce that he can't stop doing it. He is such a sore loser that he can't stop doing it. Bro, Trump didn't open any concentration camps in 2016. I don't know, man.
Look at the liberals celebrating how wonderful they are. Celebrating how they preserve these institutions, unlike the silly Republicans.
You mean they're upholding democracy in a democracy? Is that what he's trying to get at? Why is he so upset that in a democracy, when people vote someone in, they vote, the guy wins? Like, isn't that...
Meanwhile,
he calls Jews pig dogs and he calls right-wingers Nazis. Listen, it's a coincidence, okay?
Certifying Donald Trump,
Pursuant to the Constitution and laws of the United States, the Senate and House of Representatives are meeting in joint session.
I'll be honest, it does kind of feel like maybe they didn't think Donald Trump was Hitler. Of course, this is...
I love how he's like, this is my favorite part of the video. The fact that he basically knows that no one actually ever thought Trump was Hitler. Except for him. He, of course, always thought Trump was Hitler. He still does. But I love how he basically just comes out and says it. That the liberals that have been calling Trump Hitler for the last 8 years, 12 years, the people that have been calling Trump Hitler for the last decade, they never really believed it. It was all a dog whistle to make you think he was evil and not vote for him. And he just basically says that here. That's the craziest part. Like, it's insane.
Doesn't reflect my opinion on the matter, but it kind of feels like they didn't have any issues with Donald Trump's policies, and they certainly didn't have any issues with Donald Trump either. And
he's basically calling out all the liberal media for being biased and lying. And whenever they called him Hitler, they were just basically coping and gaslighting. Dude, this guy's more Republican than any Republican. Bro's calling out the media for their years of lies. Let's go. This is the GOAT. Son, the GOAT.
And they don't have an issue with the Republican Party either. They went from this is not normal to maybe this should be normal, and this way it'll be fine.
No, they went from lying and gaslighting people with propaganda to recognizing that they lost all power and decided, you know what, let's uphold democracy. Or you could say it the way you thought, that however he framed it.
And for the record, it's really interesting because you see media coverage on Trump's inauguration. And a lot of people in the media are talking about how crazy it is that Google and Facebook and Jeff Bezos, they're all giving millions of dollars to Trump's inauguration fund.
Yeah, because they're all fucking grifters, every single one of them. They all just follow the power.
And it's not that weird if the elites have decided that Trump is just the Republican Party and this is just how the Republicans are.
He won, and now they have to kneel and kiss the ring. Yeah, these people are all fake. Every single one of these billionaires are grifters. No doubt.
And we just got to play ball with the Republicans. Then, yeah.
I love how he's saying play ball. We have to play ball with them. It's like he genuinely wants to excise half the country. He would love if somehow half the country just sank into the sea and it would he'd find a way to get rid of all the Nazis that voted for Trump.
It's not newsworthy, or it wouldn't have been newsworthy in the same way if, I don't know, companies gave money to the George W. Bush inauguration. To me, it just shows that everyone in America is ready to play ball.
Why is this such a weird thing? Isn't that how democracy is supposed to work? Like, in an ideal world, every time a president would win the election, the country would be able to get together and be like, you know what? We're going to support the president at least publicly, to do our very goddamn best to make sure the country is in a good place. Isn't that kind of what people want? Isn't that like a better system? Listen, Biden's been blathering about for the last 4 years. Who knows who's been puppeteering Biden around? But To say you want Biden to fail and you shouldn't even play ball with him and you want America to get cooked just for the sake of being anti-Biden is insane. It's insane. You don't have to fondle the balls of a president that you don't like, but you should absolutely want to play ball with them.
All of our elites are ready to play ball. Trump, Teflon Don, he did the dang thing. He did it. He knew that he would.
You know why he's Teflon, though? You know why the arguments against him just slide off? They slide off because people wrongly called him Hitler for the last 10 years. And if you call him Hitler, and it turns out he's not Hitler, no insult that you can ever make about him ever will hit as hard. Literally never. You can't. You can't call him Hitler for a decade, and then it turns out he does something mean, and you'll be shocked. You're not going to be shocked if he ever does something mean. You literally called him Hitler.
Face legal scrutiny, chose to fight against it by running for office again, successfully won the election, and now we're in his court. And the Democrats are, I think, totally willing to stand back and stand by.
Do you know what he's saying by stand back and stand by? You know what he's referring to? He's blaming the Democrats for not being violent. He's blaming the Democrats for not doing an insurrection. Do you see what's happening here? Like, this is insane. He is the biggest political streamer in the world saying this. Like, this is crazy.
Are, I think, totally willing to stand back and stand by.
The Democrats aren't even making a violent assault. They're not even rebelling against the government. They're not even starting a civil war. Incredibly cringe. And if you look at the comment section on his video, literally half the comments are saying that we should have done a January 6th. No, January 6th SMH. Biggest fumble to start off the year. Bro, do you see? We need more Luigi. What do you think that's a reference to? Do you think that's a reference to assassinating any political figures that you disagree with? Like, it is insane to see this fester.
Verify the certificates and count the votes of the electors of the several states for President and Vice President of the United States. After ascertainment has been had that the certificates are authentic and correct in form, the tellers will count and make a list of the votes cast by the electors of the several states. The tellers on
I love how she says electors, like she's a freaking alien. The electors!
Part of the two houses will take their
I love this clip. This clip is so funny.
places at the clerk's desk.
I want to know what Blue Anon is going to do now. Because
You know, Blue Anon, that's a reference to QAnon, like the violent 4chan people, except they're blue because they're liberals.
I thought Blue Anon was talking about how Mamala is going to stop the steal. As the admiral of the Blue Anon Brigades, West Coast Division General, I am at a loss for words here. I'm a little confused. I thought that we were supposed to wait for orders from Mamala Harris. I am the Blue Anon shaman. As the Blue Anon shaman, I thought this was our opportunity to strike. Mamala was going to not certify. She knew something was up.
Like, you see the memes that he's saying. You see what he's implicitly telling his audience, right? I thought something was going to happen. The election wouldn't get certified. There would be some sort of riot. There would be violence.
I thought that the SpaceX had changed out the vote tabulations and that Mamala was going to strike while the iron was hot. What's happening? And as the leader of the West Coast Mamala Brigades, I've decided perhaps that they actually infiltrated Mamala, put her in a CIA black site because she was fighting against the deep state. And this is a clone. I think Mamala is a clone. Meanwhile, this is liberal January 6th.
Great little segment right there.
Out of hundreds, if not 1,000.
Even their insurrections sound gay and lame. Oh, God. What are you calling your insurrection? Yes, we want to overthrow the government. We're calling it the Mamala Blue Anon. Okay.
Showed up to Meridian Hill, Malcolm X Park, for today's community snow fight in D.C. There it is. Liberal January 6th is happening.
He is so mad that there isn't a violent riot.
And what's funny is they'll also talk about how, like,
Nux, are you hate farming? Yes. I'm glad you've noticed.
sweet it is. Like, they'll talk about how great it is that, like, you know, look at us. We're adults, unlike those Republicans.
This is insane. Like, why is he so mad that an election gets won by a vast majority and they certify it? Like, why is he so mad?
And there's truth to that. Yes, liberals will not, you know, throw their hands up and try to resist or do something about it.
Like, he's trying so hard to play both sides. He's literally trying so hard to play both sides. He's like, liberals aren't doing an insurrection. because they're lame. They should do an insurrection. But also, they're so above doing an insurrection. It's like he's literally trying both sides.
The situation. But then they'll also say, look at that. That's actually a virtue. It's actually a virtue that we are not even resisting the Trump administration.
It's actually a virtue that when a side gets elected, they actually support that democracy exists. True.
After we said he was a Nazi. I still think he is, for the record.
Oh, for the record, don't worry, guys. Hasan is no grifter. He is no grifter. As Guitar Dude in his chat says, they will not even firebomb a Walmart. This is so sad. No acts of terrorism when Trump wins. Oh my God.
Only time will show how much of a Nazi he is, but...
He is a Nazi. Time will tell how Nazi-ish he is.
A liberal insurrection would have looked very different. We would have escorted the original Broadway cast of Hamilton into the galleries. They would softly sing "History Has Its Eyes on You" as members of the GOP spewed their lies. Yeah, we would do woke gender as well.
Does he realize how lame that sounds?
We would also only tactically snap, okay? And I say we because, remember, I am the Blue Anon Brigadier. We would also snap, no clapping, just snapping. We would do gender. We would do woke gender, Broadway musical, jazz hands. We would do a land acknowledgement.
This is like the saddest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he's obviously trying to be funny, but it's failing so miserably due to extreme lameness. Like, he wants violence. He's all for violence when it happens. Like, literally. Dude, okay, just to put yourself in this guy's mind for a second, because I have some people in my chat thinking that maybe I am reading too deep into it. And when he's saying he wanted a liberal January 6th, he didn't actually want violence, even though he's called the Republican January 6th an actual insurrection trying to overthrow the government. Guys, when there was a terrorist attack in Israel that killed 1,500 civilians, he couldn't condemn the terrorists. He could not condemn the terrorists. Like, you got to put yourself in this guy's head for a second. And he still doesn't, by the way, condemn the terrorists. Like, the actual America-defined terrorists.
After the insurrection or before the insurrection, okay? Just remember, we have to do a land acknowledgement first and foremost. We'd have to put marginalized people on a single file line, put them in the front lines, you know? And of course, mandatory drag. And then the end of the insurrection would be ensuring that we secure enough funds to give to Israel. Another $8 billion to Israel to be exact, which is
Dude, this is insane. Dude is so salty. Is so insanely salty. So insanely salty. You do realize that the $8 billion went to Israel from the Biden administration, right? Right? You realize that was the leftists. That was the leftists, bro. Oh my God.
Which is what Joe Biden is doing. We would cherish that and we would celebrate him for doing that.
State of Florida received 9 votes for president, and J.D. Vance of the state of Ohio received 9 votes for vice president. Madam President, the certificate of the electoral...
Basically what's happening right now, the tellers alternate reporting on the authenticity and the...
This is yet another testament to the reality that Donald Trump has dramatically changed American norms.
He's changed American norms. That's true. American norms were in a really, really wild spot a couple of years ago.
American institutions, American politics, and reshaped it in his own image. Nobody...
True. He has changed a lot of things. Like, Kamala Harris, I think, will forever be known as the first black woman that failed to become the president of the United States, even though she ran. Like, that's crazy, bro. You gotta think about that.
Before January 6, 2021, ever cared about January 6th.
He's mad at Trump because there were people that did a protest January 6th. Like, are you insane? Are you insane? Like, it is so mind-bogglingly stupid to me. Like, that's like saying that George Floyd changed American norms forever because of there were some violent protests at the BLM riots. Like, do you realize how dumb that sounds? Because there was a violent protest once that happened that was somewhat related to Donald Trump, he forever changed America.
That was not like...
Every single major thing that ever happened ever caused a riot somewhere. Like, this is insane.
A media...
There is something that Trump absolutely did change. I think Trump's changed the normalization of just believing the media forever. In my opinion, that's what Trump changed. That's the biggest thing he changed.
Moment. But because he tried to overthrow American democracy in the funniest way possible, this is also a unique moment where, see, the American Congress has gotten together to to certify the vote counts. It's like, this is just purely symbolic. This is the type of thing that like nobody really cared about. It's just,
why are you watching it? Why is he so mad? You're not allowed to care about this thing because it's boring and gay. Like, what is he doing? He's so mad that Trump actually makes an impact on people and Kamala Harris does not.
just super basic stuff in Congress that happens that you normally are supposed to not even know about. No one needs to know that this is a thing.
He is so mad that people know more things now because of Trump. Like you gotta realize the level of mental gymnastics he needs to go through to make him evil. Yes, this is what the new generation calls copium. Is like, guys, do you realize if not for rapists, you wouldn't even have to know that rape was illegal? Now you know rape is illegal, and that's only because of rapists. Damn, this is crazy. It's like, well, why are you so mad that people know something that happens in the country every 4 years is something that happens in the country every 4 years?
No one is supposed to watch this in real time.
You're not supposed to watch this, goddammit. You are not supposed to be here. I'm so mad. Trump is making you watch this now.
Proper form of each of the certificates and the number of votes designated for president and vice president, and then each teller records the results.
It's not even PBS material. This is C-SPAN. In the past, this got like 35 views on C-SPAN.
On a paper tally.
It's boring. It is boring.
And at the end of that,
look at them grabbing their description.
What are you doing? You're reacting to it. Why are you reacting to it? You are normalizing it by he's reacting in front of 60,000 people.
Having the process of vote certification. Like, what? Of course it's boring. It's so stupid. It's like putting a camera in front of a guy who's just like literally rubber stamping stuff.
And he's basically spending his day watching it. I mean, he uploaded this video. He is the one that uploaded the video.
At the FDA every day or something. Like it is incredibly boring procedural stuff.
All right.
And I think part of the reason why we're hyper focusing on this is to basically repeat a lie that things are normal, okay? Things are not normal. Things are not normal. But everyone, the fourth estate, is desperately trying to be like, no. I promise you things are normal. Look at how normal this bureaucratic process is. Everything is fine. Please don't freak out. Meanwhile, Justin Trudeau, in America's hat, Canada, resigned. Part of the reason why he resigned is because he was deeply unpopular, okay?
Dude, it's insane. We're living in a not normal time. The president that gets the most votes actually gets elected. That's crazy how that happened. Also, the prime minister that was deeply unpopular stepped down. Wow, that is insane. We are living in such incredible taciturn times. What a truly insane reality we live in, he says, as whining like the whiny asshole that he is.
Okay, part of the reason why he was deeply unpopular played a role in the same struggles that Americans are facing as well, where
he was deeply unpopular because he was probably the worst prime minister in the history of Canada for millions of reasons, bro. Dude was awful on immigration policies. Dude was awful on inflation policies. Dude basically enslaved people for posting shit on the internet. Like, dude was deeply unpopular because people were scared that he would become a dictator. Not like Trump is a dictator. Like, dude, people were scared that he would actually strip away your rights and freedoms. People were afraid they would get stopped at the airport because of something they posted online. He was trying to put insane regulations on online content. He did blackface. He interrupts people when they say mankind because you need to be inclusive and say people kind. He absolutely destroyed an entire group of truckers during COVID because he called them misogynists and whatever to basically get them arrested. He would freeze people's bank accounts if they are rude, okay? That's why people didn't like him. Like, we're living in such weird times that this guy stepped down. Damn, can't believe this guy stepped down. That's crazy.
a lot of people have decided that immigrants are the reason why the housing market is out of control.
A lot of people decided that when you have millions more people in a country, they actually need houses. What? No. What? No. Like, the cope is insane. People decided that when there are more people that need houses, houses become more expensive. What? No, really?
You know, people will point to the carbon tax, or I mean, the taxing initiatives that he engaged in for green energy, even though it's a objectively conservative way of trying to tax.
Do you know that my taxes in Canada are like 60% of my income? Like, dude, that's insane. Why?
Climate change. America's other ally, South Korea, experienced a martial law initiative.
How is he blaming Trump for this? Literally on the other end of the world. Okay, like, this is insane. Do you know what happened to every single South Korean president? Dude, let me see if I can find this list. I really want to find this list. Dude, there's no way I'll find it. Did you know that every single person that was ever a president of South Korea ended up dead or in jail? Every single one of them, if I'm not mistaken. I saw a comment somewhere that listed every single South Korean president and why every single one of them ended up in prison or arrested or dead or something crazy like that. I don't know. I can't find it. Anyway, yeah, so this is insane.
President was deposed and now they're going after him, but they can't even issue an arrest warrant because he's protecting himself with his own Secret Service. America.
Yeah, that's crazy. Totally Trump's fault.
Is not saying anything.
By the way, I don't know if you're aware, but that happened while Biden was president. Just letting you know.
About that either, because it's weird. You have war everywhere. The things are just not.
Pretty sure that's also pretty much all started while Biden was president. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure all the wars started while Biden was president. Literally. I'm pretty sure Trump's term was the only presidential term in history where no war started. Is that possible? Is that true? Anyway, you know, I can always trust myself because I covered the freaking the South Korea situation. I covered the South Korea drama. This guy, you know, I'll let past Nux read it. Why should present Nux work his ass off? All right, so first you had this individual overthrown, then Young Bo-sung overthrown, then Park Chung-hee assassinated, then Choi, this fellow overthrown, okay, then Chun Do-hwan sentenced to death, then this guy, these are the list of the presidents of South Korea, okay, this fellow sentenced to 22 years in prison, Kim Young-sam imprisoned, all right, Kim Dae-jung impeached and sentenced to death, arrested, impeached. Bro, this is every freaking president of South Korea. I don't understand. Yeah. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say? You get what I'm saying? How on earth are you going to blame Trump for South Korea? Like, you got to be absolutely cooked in the noodle to blame Trump for South Korea. Meanwhile, every single war started while Trump wasn't in office. Anyway.
Normal. Things are not normal at all. And it seems like
things were never normal.
Leadership at the helm is more invested in maintaining neoliberalism as the way to go, this like ideological zealotry, rather than try to actually fix some of these problems. And people are getting more and more frustrated. Right-wingers are just winning. They're winning all over the world where people have not changed their politics at all.
Interesting.
On the opposing side to fascism, if you have liberals running the show, you're in a really terrible predicament.
He is his own worst enemy.
All the while, we just hyper focus on silly things like this to be like, no, everything is fine. Everything is good. While this is happening, Trump is, on the other hand, consistently saying, oh, we're just going to annex Canada. Now, I think he's joking about that. I don't think he's being serious about that. But I do think it's dangerous and nefarious when he talks about...
Oh my God, dude, stop. He's such a baby. He's such an insane baby. Yes, they're jokes, guy. There are obviously jokes. He's not deploying actual force against Canada. No one thinks this is true except for someone like freaking Hasan that's gonna sit here and make believe he's a Nazi.
Invading Mexico or bombing the cartels.
But is bombing the cartels really? First of all, that one I don't even think he's joking about that one. I think he's testing the waters. I think he actually wants to fucking bomb the cartels. But I'm not even like I don't even know if that's a bad idea. Listen, I'm no military expert, but the cartels are basically terrorist organizations that are, you know, pushing insane amounts of crap into America that is harming American citizens. Like, I'm not sure why he's so mad about this.
I do think that is something that he might do. I don't think he's joking about that. As it stands, I fear as though we will just keep looking at things like this to be like, no, everything is fine. Everything is normal.
This is a good thing today. Again, the new incoming president will make the decision whether he wants to move on from January 6th or not. I'm fine whatever he decides. I think the country would be better off if he did. But yeah, it's good to see this happen today.
Do you think January 6th, I mean, years from now, is, you know, a date that will live in infamy to...
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. January 6th is like, at this point,
He's about to give you, you're ready? You ready for the worst take you're ever going to hear in your life?
I think it's 100 9/11s.
One more time.
January 6th is like, at this point, I think it's 100 9/11s, I think.
One more time.
January 6th is like, at this point, I think it's 100 9/11s.
I hope he's joking. Like, benefit of the doubt. I hope he's kidding. But I genuinely can't tell. Genuinely.
I think. Worse than 9/11 times 100. Obviously, no one cares about January 6th. Who cares? Let the man overthrow the government in peace. Leave him alone. I mean, he is doing that right now.
He was elected, actually. I don't know if he's aware of how the election process works, but yeah.
By the way, ironically enough, he is kind of doing that. So if your argument against Donald Trump is that he destroys institutions because you're a norms respecter and institution defender, then yeah, you're very frustrated about January 6, 2021, and you're not frustrated about January 6, 2025. That's the point. This is exactly what I'm trying to explain to you. Okay? Liberals don't.
He's explaining, all right? He's been explaining this entire video. He's been basically saying he really wants a violent liberal riot to fight and steal the government. That is what he's saying the entire video without actually saying that, because obviously that's insane.
Don't like January 6, 2021 because that destroys institutional norms, because they only care about preserving institutional norms. They don't care about losing to Donald Trump gracefully, graciously, and, you know, falling on the sword like this.
What do you mean falling on the sword is an expression when someone kills themselves? All right, that's falling on the sword. It's when you stab yourself in the chest with the sword. That is how it happened here. They were stabbed in the chest by somebody else. There's no sword falling. They lost the election because people voted for the other guy.
Most of the country did.
I love how he's trying so hard to not say he wants violence. He's like dancing in circles. Literally dancing. He has not made a single point this entire video that can't be interpreted as he really wishes there was massive violence from the liberal side right now to steal the government from the elected president. That is what he is trying so hard to say without actually saying it.
It rubbed them the wrong way. They didn't like it. That showed up consistently in polling, but it just didn't rank in the top issues at the end of the day. And I think this was such a historic and wild election cycle, and so many other dynamics entered the last 4 years that in many ways the events of January 6th were eclipsed.
Okay, I think we've seen enough.
We've seen enough, guys. We've seen enough. They're not stealing the government. It's boring. We don't care.
Okay, we've seen enough.
Peaceful.
Yeah, breaking news. Kamala Harris announces she will oversee the certification of the 2024 election, and she's going to do it gracefully.
He's so mad. He is so mad that she's not trying to overthrow the government. He's so mad. She's going to actually follow the law. Ew, ew.
Transfer of power is one of the most fundamental principles of American democracy. As much as any other principle, it is what distinguishes our system of government from monarchy or tyranny.
Yeah, breaking news. Elected official is going to do her job.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is, Hasan doesn't want that to happen. It sounds so obvious, but he really just doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah, breaking news. Tomorrow, Kamala Harris is also going to continue overseeing the Senate. Breaking news, as the vice president, this is her duty. Breaking news, on January 20th, they will hand over the reins of the government to Donald Trump's administration. Breaking news, like, yeah, I know. This is just how it, this is how it is.
This is how it is. There are laws and people actually follow laws. He's so mad. He's so mad that people are actually following laws. Like, dude, Trump won the freaking election a month ago. Can you stop being so salty? Like, I appreciate the content that you are giving me right now, okay? But, dog, stop being so salty. Like, this is insane levels of bitch.
This is how it goes.
Today at the United States Capitol, I will perform my constitutional duty as Vice President of the United States to certify the results of the 2024 election. This duty is a sacred obligation, one I will uphold, guided by love of country, loyalty to our Constitution.
Oh my God, the fact that she actually has to go and say all this after losing is insane.
And my unwavering faith in the American people. As we have seen, our democracy can be fragile.
This kind of attitude is so funny because they make it seem as though the Republicans, if given the opportunity, wouldn't do a million January 6s.
The attitude of her actually following the rules is so funny because I really would like, if the Republicans...
Over and over again. Like, hey, we're leading by example. See, this is how you really do it. And if you're engaging in this pageantry of a normal piece of the process, normal bureaucracy.
I'll be honest, this is the most respectable thing that she could have possibly done. Like, the fact that she's doing this is honestly respectable. If she would have done this entire, public meltdown, crying and yelling and not wanting to do the democracy, that would have been the most lame, pathetic meltdown of all time. I'll be honest, like, the best thing you could do when you lose is lose with grace. And she lost, and she's trying her best to do it with grace.
As though
she's not laughing anymore, but she's trying to do it with grace.
This is a valuable lesson to instill upon the American public. Make no mistake, they do not care. Your enemies do not care. Well, I guess
it's so funny how he's basically saying, don't have morals because your enemies are evil Nazi hicks anyway. So why have morals? Because you're never going to influence anyone else.
Your Republicans aren't really her enemies, if we're being real, or the Democratic Party's enemies, but like they are the enemy of the American people. I'm just going.
Yes, the enemies of the American people are the majority of Americans that voted for Trump. You heard correctly. This is only the most incredibly hot of takes on the Hasan channel.
Going to repeat this over and over again in perpetuity. Institution respecters and norm defenders, when they lose to the Republican Party, end up also failing on both fronts, because the Republicans will never defend the institutions or the norms. They only care about getting their way. You are grossly underestimating
It's so funny. It's so funny how he's doing this. He's like, he hates the Republicans for not respecting the institutions, and he hates the Democrats for respecting the institutions. Like, what does that leave you? What does that leave you, bro? Dude, it's insane. How does he always find a way to complain?
Kamala 2028.
Kamala 2028 would basically just be handing the Republicans another fucking term.
I am telling you right now, Kamala Harris's political career
it's over.
Is done.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
It is done.
Yeah, she's cooked. Sorry, but Mamala will not be. Yeah, but anyway, that's been the Hasan meltdown. But anyway, I love how he specifically skipped arguably one of the funniest moments of all time. He skipped possibly one of the funniest things that happened this entire certification. I have to show this to you. I have to show this to you, bro, because this is hilarious. All right, dude. Look at this.
I intend to resign.
But yeah, I guess the guy's out. He's out, and guess who's in? Certify Trump's 2024 win. Kamala has to do it on January 6th. Trump tweeted out a picture of his January 6th rally. Did you see his tweet about Canada? I did not.
The votes for President of the United States are as follows.
She gotta say it.
Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes.
That's a lot.
Kamala D. Harris.
And they literally interrupt her, bro. They literally interrupt her to cheer. The entire House, the whole Senate, stops and interrupts her to cheer. But of course, Hasan skipped this, which is hilarious. She is so mad. So mad. Kamala D. Harris, the worst One Piece character of all time. Unbelievable. Even this guy stood up next to her to clap, interrupting. Like, do you see what's going on right now? This is insane. This is crazy. You're telling me this isn't entertainment?
Oh, no!
Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
And the dude sitting next to her doesn't even stand up to clap.
God. Yeah, there you go. Bonk him
this
down.
Announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate.
Bro, the loser POV is crazy.
Shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected President and Vice President of the United States, each for a term beginning on the 20th day of January 2025, and shall be entered together with the list of the votes on the journals of the House and the Senate. Thank you very much.
Damn.
Yeah, she got annihilated. It's crazy.
Is that it? She's not gonna say he cheated? Where's the content? Yeah, he'd still be up there talking. Trump is on his way to Greenland. It's over.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the difference between the two political takes. So we got Hasan upset at a transfer of power that was peaceful. Then you got Asmongold that is laughing because they interrupted her. Loser's POV like that. I don't know. Honestly, I think this is insane. The whole Hasan calling for violence things is wild. It is wild. The do-nothing Democrats don't even participate in the time-honored tradition of storming the Capitol. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, that's crazy. Guys, we forgot to do January 6th. No. Man, we couldn't even get Kamala not certifying. That would have been so funny. If only we could have broken the law. I'm tired of seeing Trump's face. No. Fascism is here. Fascism is here, ladies and gentlemen. We are so here. We are so here, guys. Another girl boss L. Bro, Trump just goes up there beating women on the daily. It's Kamalover. It's Trudeauver. Oh my god. I miss when formalities were formalities. Like, why are we watching boring speaker votes? Yeah, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. This was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. This has been the gayest meltdown of the day. Definitely subscribe for more gay meltdowns. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.